Hello and welcome to the Orange County Transportation Authority vendor orientation video. OCTA would like to thank you for your interest and hope that you find this video useful. There are 5 objectives for this video. First, review OCTA's mission statement and values, look at OCTA's procurement structure, go over the types of procurements and their process, how to develop a winning proposal, and finally, how to register and update a company profile on CAMNet. We'll start off with a little bit of background information on OCTA. OCTA was formed in 1991 through a consolidation of 7 separate transportation agencies. OCTA is governed by an 18-member board of directors made up of 5 county supervisors, 10 city council members, 2 public members, and 1 member from the California Department of Transportation, Caltrans District 12. The board of directors hold numerous responsibilities, including awarding contracts, evaluating OCTA programs, and making policy decisions. The next 2 slides talk about OCTA's mission and values. These are important because they are about how OCTA likes to do business. First up, here's OCTA's mission statement. OCTA seeks to develop and deliver transportation solutions that enhance the quality of life and keep Orange County moving. Here are OCTA's values. It strives for integrity, a can-do spirit, customer focus, teamwork, and finally, communication. As for OCTA programs and services, there is Measure M2, a half-cent sales tax approved by the Orange County voters, and it is OCTA's primary funding source. OCTA also has bus operations throughout Orange County. It's also involved in freeway construction and maintenance. OCTA assists Caltrans with planning and funding for freeway improvements. There's also the OC Streetcar and OC Flex microtransit services, as well as streets and roads projects. You also have motorist services such as freeway call boxes and freeway towing service. There is the OC Taxi Administration Program, or OCTAP, which issues taxi business, driver, and vehicle permits for the cities in Orange County. And finally, OCTA owns and manages the 91 express lanes. This brings us to OCTA's procurement department, which is called the Contracts Administration and Materials Management Department, and it is in charge of buying goods, materials, and services on behalf of OCTA. OCTA generally buys 5 types of goods, materials, and services. First, architectural and engineering services, or A&E services, construction or public works projects such as improvements to OCTA's facilities, equipment such as buses, replacement parts, computers, etc. Fourth, professional and technical consulting services such as public outreach, IT consulting, auditing, and a host of other types of services. Lastly, OCTA also buys miscellaneous supplies that OCTA needs to conduct its business. We'll now go through the procurement process. This is good information to know if you're looking to do business with OCTA, as it will give you a framework for understanding how OCTA buys goods and services. On this slide, you see the different procurement thresholds at OCTA. The key takeaway here is that depending on the dollar value and type of procurement used, OCTA has different award procedures. Informal procurements are those between $2,500 and $50,000. These are typically posted and awarded online on CAMNet. Projects more than $50,000 are considered formal procurements, and notices are sent to firms currently registered on our CAMNet site. Proposals and awards are made offline for formal procurements. Micro purchases are those less than $2,500, and they are typically completed by getting a few telephone quotes. Finally, OCTA occasionally will use non-competitive procedures such as a sole source procurement. There are 2 general procurement types. One is the invitation for bids, or IFB, where award is based on the low bid, and the other is the request for proposals, which is a negotiated procurement. We'll dive a little deeper into these two now so you can understand the differences. For IFBs, it's important to note the following. Bids must be received on time, and there is a public opening of sealed bids that anyone can attend, including yourself. Award is made to the lowest responsible bidder. What we mean by responsive is that it includes the following: complete bid forms, the bid confirms those specifications, meets bond, licensing, and insurance requirements, and meets disadvantaged business enterprise or DBE goal if applicable. A responsible bidder is one that has the quality, fitness, and capacity to perform the work or provide the goods/materials. For example, if someone submits a bid to manufacture buses, just because you are the low bid does not mean you would be awarded the contract if you don't actually know how to manufacture a bus. In other words, you have to have the whereabouts, the capacity, and have the ability to actually manufacture a bus. The request for proposal, or RFP, is used for buying architectural and engineering services as well as other professional services such as consulting, public outreach, etc. As noted earlier, award is not based on low bid only and includes a set of evaluation criteria outlined in the RFP. We're now going to take a look at the important parts of an RFP, including the evaluation criteria I just mentioned, to help you identify what is important in developing a winning proposal. So good proposals follow the order listed in the RFP. Since OCTA receives many proposals for each RFP, it becomes difficult to review a proposal that deviates from this order. So make sure that you review the RFP and submit a proposal based on the order requested. First, OCTA wants to know the qualifications of your firm in regards to prior experience that is similar to the work that OCTA is requesting in the RFP, and whether your proposed staff have worked on projects you list for your prior experience. Be sure to include information that is up to date and you've provided accurate phone numbers and the names of contacts on your references. OCTA suggests that you notify your references in advance and give them a heads up that they may be contacted by OCTA so they're not caught off guard. For proposed staffing and project organization, your proposal should show who will do which part of the project. Make sure you specifically identify your key personnel and the qualifications as they relate to the project, as well as their availability in terms of percentage or work hours committed to other projects and this project. The work plan should detail your approach to completing the tasks and requirements of the project. It is imperative here that your proposal does not just repeat what is included in the scope of work, but rather identify how you will complete the tasks. In other words, OCTA is looking for methods here. It's not looking for you to simply regurgitate to us what's already in the scope of work. Help us understand and see that you can complete the project in a manner that is, within budget, on time, and so on and so forth. In terms of cost and price, there are generally two types: firm fixed or time and expense. Cost and price are judged on a competitive basis. OCTA includes the scope of work, usually under Exhibit A of the RFP. This is where critical information is given and the requested services or materials are described in greater detail. It contains the who, what, when, where, and why of our request. Please be sure to review the scope of work and adequately address it in your work plan. OCTA includes the cost and price form as an exhibit to the RFP, usually under Exhibit B. As stated before, there are normally two different types of pricing requested. One is time and expense based on hourly rates, and the other is firm fixed price by task. The cost and price form may also ask for costs associated with other services, so make sure you provide this information if requested. Two other items on the cost and price form that are important to consider and keep in mind. First, remember to identify the effective days for offer. In other words, your offer will be effective for a specified number of days, and OCTA includes a minimum on the form. Second, also quite important, is that your cost and price form is signed. If it is not signed by someone who should be signing it, then the form itself is non-binding. So please be sure not to forget signing the cost and price form. OCTA also includes a proposed agreement, usually under Exhibit C of the RFP. This proposed agreement identifies the terms and conditions. There are some key articles you should perhaps keep in mind: the payment and invoicing, contract term, insurance requirements, key personnel, and federal terms if applicable. For some projects, additional requirements might be inserted into the agreement, like the Clean Air Act, drug and alcohol policy, and Buy America requirements. This is often the case with federally funded projects. There are also a host of forms included in the RFP, and we'll address some of those here. First up, the proposal exceptions and deviations form. If your organization has an alternative approach, or if you cannot meet any contractual agreement, it is important that you make OCTA aware of this as part of your proposal submission via the exceptions and deviations form included in the RFP. For example, OCTA has specific insurance requirements and will hold you to those unless you identify in your proposal via the exceptions and deviations form that you cannot meet such requirements. Next up is the campaign contributions form. In conformance with the statutory requirements, you are required to complete and sign the campaign contribution disclosure form and submit it as part of your proposal. You, your subcontractors, lobbyists, and agents are required to report all campaign contributions made from the proposal's submittal date up to and until OCTA's Board of Directors selection. If there are no campaign contributions, just note it on the form and then sign and date it. Next up is the status of past and present contracts form, which is used to list the status of past and present contracts where your company has either provided services as a prime vendor or a subcontractor during the past 5 years in which the contract has been subject of or may be involved in litigation with the contracting authority. This includes, but is not limited to, claims, settlement agreements, arbitrations, administrative proceedings, and investigations arising out of the contract. Please note that you may be deemed non-responsive if you fail to disclose contracts in litigation or pending, so be sure to include this form. For DBE, or disadvantaged business enterprise related forms, we actually have another video on the same webpage where you found this video for more information. OCTA encourages you to check out that video. In summary, winning proposals are received on time and signed, complete and responsive to the RFP, creative, not canned material, and the order of contents follow requirements asked for in the technical proposal. Having covered the elements of a winning proposal, let's now talk about the remaining steps in the evaluation process. Upon receiving your written proposal, OCTA will evaluate it. Vendors may be asked to present the proposal in an interview. It is important that the vendor employees doing the work actually attend the interview. OCTA may request a site visit of your facilities as part of the overall evaluation process, or you may be asked to demonstrate your product, which is usually part of an IT procurement. Award is then made either by OCTA staff or by OCTA's Board of Directors. If your organization is not selected, you are certainly welcome to request a debriefing to learn why you weren't selected and what you can improve on. Now that we've covered the procurement process, you might be thinking to yourself, well, how do I find out about RFPs, IFBs, procurements, etc.? Well, for that, OCTA uses a procurement portal on the web under camnet.octa.net. This is where you can go to create an account and receive emails about solicitations, addenda, and award notifications, as well as view and update your vendor profile. I will briefly give you an overview of the CamNet website. If you just go to camnet.octa.net, you'll get here. And then as you can see on top here, you've got a login button and a register button. It takes less than 5 minutes to register. It's very easy to log in once you've created an account. Here under procurement, you can see what is currently out on the street, what you can perhaps propose on. There are also awards that we notify everyone of here. You've got a link about working with OCTA, which has a lot of good information, including this video. And then if you again like to learn more about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, here's a link with lots of good information that we urge you to check out. So in a nutshell, this is OCTA's CamNet website. We encourage you again to go on it, register if you haven't already, and certainly check it out. Thank you for watching this video and your interest in OCTA. We hope this video has been helpful to you. Please remember to register on our CamNet site, and OCTA looks forward to receiving a proposal from you. Thank you.